Deputy Chancellor, it's a pleasure to introduce Dr. Ross Bastiaan, who's a periodontist who's been in private practice in Melbourne since 1978. He has dental master degrees from Melbourne and London universities and has contributed to 3 dental textbooks and published over 25 scientific articles. He's served as President of the Royal Australasian College of Dental Surgeons and taught for several years at the Dental School, University of Melbourne. Dr. Bastiaan was the forensic dentist to the Melbourne Coroner and Homicide Squad, Victoria Police Force, for 10 years, from 1981. He is currently a serving colonel in the Army Reserve, Royal Australian Army Dental Corps, and was the honorary dentist to the Governor-General of Australia. Australian military history has been his long-term interest, and since 1990 he has personally placed around the world over 270 multilingual large bronze commemorative interpretive plaques, mainly telling of Australia's past military and social history. He has written 3 books on the First and Second World Wars. In 2006, he was made a member of the Order of Australia for services to Australian military history and dentistry. It's a great pleasure to introduce him as a guest speaker today. Please welcome Dr. Ross Bastiaan.
Chancellor. Academics, staff, graduates, family and friends of our graduates, it's a great honour for me to stand here today before you with the newest and the brightest of our graduates of our university, and to welcome you into a family of graduates of the university, now that you've completed at the varying levels your educational programs. Today also means a great deal to me because I sat over there in 1973 and I sat there with a smile on my face, the same as I see today with you, and I watched my generation come up the stairs, receive their degrees and wonder what lay ahead of us. Back in 73, graduates were in demand, work was assured. Things are different today. My horizons were to be a dental practitioner in private practice and to teach at this university part-time, which I did for a number of years. So why am I addressing you today? Perhaps in the introduction you might understand that my world moved differently from dentistry. I fulfilled my professional dreams, but more importantly I chose to give a considerable portion of my non-professional life in a very special service to our country. And I provided to thousands of people every day a practical permanent record of Australia's history written in bronze on many of the battlefields where our generations before us fought. If the right side of our brain is tuned to dentistry and the sciences and the left to the humanities, well then I certainly needed to massage the left after I left dentistry. For you in the health sciences, scientific rigour is part of the program that sees you here today. There is, however, a very rich element of the humanities in this university that should have tempted you, but I suspect passed you by. It passed me by. Why? Dentistry didn't give me a lot of free time. Wednesday afternoons were supposed to be for that, but it was always absorbed in a new program. Don't despair. You may have missed it like we did, but your chance will come later in your life. I was born in this country of an Australian-Dutch background. My family served in the wars, and it was a major interest for me being involved in studying it and learning more about that. My mentor was Lawrence McCarthy, a lieutenant in the 16th Battalion in the First World War, who won the Victoria Cross in France in 1918. He meant a lot to me, and he said to me, nothing in life worth having is easy, and I've certainly carried that thought right through my life. It's a main message that I might give all of you today, that nothing worth having is easy. In my postgraduate studies in London in 1977, I obtained a collection of photographs of the Gallipoli campaign, which were to change my life. I was studying periodontics. I'd done an oral medicine master's here, and I was over there really ambitious to get ahead when I came home. It was an opportunity for me to investigate these pictures further, and it took me to Turkey, and I eventually published a book called Images of Gallipoli. In writing the book, when I visited Gallipoli way back in 1988, there was almost nothing at Gallipoli to read or understand what the Australians and New Zealanders had done. I thought it was terrible, and I decided to fix it. I saw an opportunity. The Turkish government were fantastic. The Turks helped me a lot, and I placed at 10 significant spots around the battlefield bronze works that carried text about what you saw there in English, German, French and Turkish. Dentists doing things like that was unheard of in those days, and many of the academic historians were not pleased. However, I managed to do it and unveiled them with Prime Minister Hawke and 53 of the remaining veterans who had fought there. One could think that was the end of my journey in life, but it was not to be. It was only the beginning. Soon I was contacted by Sir Edward Dunlop. Some of you will know Weary Dunlop, great surgeon of the Second World War, and he and I did in Southeast Asia the story of the Australians that were captured by the Japanese in Singapore, in Borneo and in other areas of the Pacific. Your life is privileged to where you've come from. Many of you have a knowledge that's better than most people, and you need to use your knowledge to serve the community. When you think about it, you have learnt a great deal in depth in a narrow area. That depth is important, but there's a broader life out there which you young people now must start to explore. Your mind is disciplined, but more importantly, this university has taught you how to logically think and how to process information and facts. You know how to search out information, process your thoughts, and using these set some new goals. That's a great skill. It's a great skill. And that's the broadness of an education at a university that so often is overlooked. Most of you have untapped leadership qualities. You've got organisational talents that will give you an edge when you get out into the big world. Use these, grasp the opportunities they'll bring, exploit the qualities in the years ahead, but give back to your community, the community that has given you the start. Get involved in community groups. Help children learn. Sit on school boards and make a difference. Come back to the university and teach. Remember, today is also about your family. There's a lot of family here today. They've come to join with you the joy and the success that you've had. Most of the parents here have given up a great deal to get you to where you are. My parents gave up a great deal. I'm sure yours have as well. Their reward is to see you prosper, but as any good parent will want, they want to see you expand yourself as a person into some of the softer, non-materialistic aspects of life that a good education allows. No parent wants a single-dimensional child, and what I challenge you now is to find that second, and if you're really good, the third dimension in your life. Start small, move slowly, for it will take some time to find your feet. Identify the opportunities that you see, but allocate a portion of every week to give to others. There'll be a lot of opportunities come your way, but I can tell you the one thing I learnt was that when an opportunity came, grasp it. Don't walk away from it. You've got the skills now to take opportunities on. It's a bit nerve-wracking sitting there as you are now, but those opportunities will flow through to you in the years to come. Take them. Some will never come again. Not every culture embraces these ideas, but ours does. So if you see what I have done in my life and make people think and remember, then you can do things outside your chosen career. When I left this university, I never believed I would put 280 bronze plaques around the world, marking in 20 countries what my nation had done. I used that left side of my brain and I took the opportunities that came to make sure I did something that for me was important and for my country was important. And dentistry was just the lever for that. Because often in negotiations with foreign governments, the fact I was a dentist, which was always told, meant that they saw no other alternative reason but that I was altruistic in my aims and my desires, because I had to raise a lot of money and do it privately. I extol all of you to keep this concept of the beauty that comes from a broader education and to use it as you go forward, proud of your achievements, enriched by your endeavours, and superbly educated to help others. In conclusion, it is this effort in life that you will hold dear, and not yet another root filling.